And I'd like to welcome in the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. We've got Scott Bauer joining us this afternoon. Scott, welcome to Midday Movers. Thanks for giving us part of your afternoon in a very busy week, a very busy central bank week. Let's talk a little bit about that first and foremost. We had the Bank of Japan earlier in the week, the ECB this morning, Christine Lagarde. We had Fed Chair Jerome Powell yesterday with the FOMC. Next week, we get the Bank of England. A lot of punch, so to say, or stimulus as they call it, announced at these meetings. Markets look a little bit hungover this morning and today. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. You know, this was probably a buy the rumor, sell the news, especially coming out of the ECB. They really said the same thing that, you know, our Fed said, is they're going to pull out all punches, as you said, what they can do and put in whatever stimulus they can to backstop their economy. So, you know, maybe a little bit of hangover today, but I think in the long run, across the board, we're seeing all central banks really have a concerted effort, really saying, we're going to do whatever it is that needs to be done to ensure that 6 months, 9 months, 18 months down the road, you know, economies will get back to some sense of normalcy.
Yeah, definitely. A sense of normalcy is something that we would like to see. And as you mentioned, certainly the Fed providing reassuring comments. Fed Chair Jerome Powell did mention potential to see double-digit unemployment numbers next week. Something to watch here. Basically, he explained this is ongoing, to say the least. He also was very clear that it's not going to be the Fed alone in order to help us work our way through this in terms of fiscal and stimulus necessary. Scott, let's move on here. Let's talk Tesla in the news again this week in a big way. Earnings, first and foremost. For the most part, pretty good numbers. Can you talk to us about what you're seeing here? They spiked higher today, and it looked like they got back to levels they haven't seen since the end of February, but currently trading down on the day by about 4.5%.
Yeah, I think when you take a deeper look into the report, Ben, yeah, you see it's great. They made some money. They made $16 million profit on $6 billion of revenue, third consecutive quarter. So all of these headlines are you know, really positive for a stock that, you know, is you know, a juggernaut, let's say. It's doubled basically over the last couple months. Where are they going in the future? When I look a little bit deeper into this report, though, the thing that troubles me most is they had predicted to be cash flow positive for 2020. Well, this report, when you dive into it, it tells me that they're almost $1 billion negative cash flow, $895 million cash flow negative here. That's still very worrisome to me. And I think that, you know, the big exuberance that the market had over the profit that Tesla showed, you know, that's why we're seeing the stock actually down now, and down almost $100 off of the highs that it had hit, you know, post-market yesterday.
Yeah, we're back to the discussion where they are burning cash, concerns related to that. You mentioned where are they going to be in the future. I kind of wonder that too, with gas prices, the national average around 175 right now. It's been coming off significantly over the last year, over the last week for that matter. I did notice, I'm not sure if you did, Elon Musk said that the Bay Area shelter-in-place orders during the COVID-19 are fascist. That's definitely, he likes to make news one way or the other. I guess all publicity is good publicity in many ways. Let's talk some other names that are, speaking of publicity, they're getting some. TSN, Tyson, let's talk Hornell and some of the meat producers, because the president has initiated or enacted this order in order to force them to stay open. He said basically it's essential for the health and well-being of our company or our country.
No, absolutely. And I think in the long run, this is actually a good thing. Obviously, the safety of all employees at these meat processing plants is first and foremost. I mean, nothing should come above that. But I think this is actually very positive for the stocks pretty much across the board here. And I do like Tyson and Hormel the best here. We'll talk about Conagra in a second. But I like these a lot because we see beef and pork prices soaring. And, you know, the supply and demand issues are really going to come into play here. There's a lot of talk here from the CEOs that the supply chains are, you know, for lack of a better definition, pretty messed up. So there's going to be a lot of supply demand issue here. But going into earnings here for Tyson, which are next week, I would love to be long Tyson going into earnings. You know, stock is right around that 50-day moving average here. I think there could be some really nice upside. And the same with Hormel. If you pull up a chart in Hormel, this one from a technical standpoint, I like even better because you've got support in this stock just below where we're trading. 50-day moving average is just under 46. And right below that, Ben, the 200-day moving average is down at 44. So I see some pretty nice upside for Hormel with some very limited downside in the near future here.
Okay, but wait, then you said you saw some, you expressed some concern related to Conagra, though, CAG.
Yes. This stock has rallied from 23 to 36. Obviously, fantastic rally off the bottom of the market just over a month ago. But it really hit some pretty significant resistance around that 36 level. So I think that's why we're seeing it trade off of there. I think, that has put in a top for now. There is some support here below. There is some support right around 32, 33. But in terms of a technical area here, if I was to trade just off the technicals, I think we've seen the highs here. I don't see much further on Conagra in the near term where I do see that in Tyson and Hormel.
All right, all the way down to 33.24 from the high this week. We're looking at the intraday chart right now, the 5-minute from 35.45. Scott, really appreciate you joining us here on a busy afternoon in a very busy week. Trader Scott Bauer is the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, helping us take a look at a few movers. He's got his eye on. We're going to come back.